Whenever somebody claims that they're sick and they can't go on a date with you, that's when you show up to their house to make sure.
No.
Yep.
What?
You have to make sure that they're not faking it. And that's exactly what Andrea did, who's on the phone to do a second date update right now.
Oh, no.
She called the dude out for being sick.
No, what?
And now he's not calling her back. But apparently it worked out better than what it sounds like I'm saying. Andrea, what's up? How are you?
Hey, Jubal. Hey, Brooke. How are y'all?
Good. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the guy that you want to call today? What's his name?
His name is Mike.
Mike. Okay. And how did you meet Mike?
We work in separate places. We were just at the same bar for an office happy hour.
And you thought maybe you could help merge companies. A little merger, huh?
Maybe. I was thinking more, he could just do a feature on our next product.
Okay.
So what'd you like about this guy?
He had a really sweet personality. I mean, he was really smooth. I went to order my drink at the bar, and he slid up next to me. He's like, after I said my drink, he told me his drink, and he's like, oh, and put them together. I'll pay. So it was really sweet.
Oh, he meant put them on the same tab. I thought you meant he wanted you to mix drinks. I was like, that's weird.
A merger.
Yeah.
Another merger.
All right. So anyway, he took care of your drinks. He seemed like a nice guy.
Yeah, seemed like a really nice guy. I mean, we started talking, and he's got really popping blue eyes. Total sucker for that. And by the end of the night, he asked me out.
Okay, so in your email, you mentioned something about him getting sick, so you needed to go over to his place?
Okay, so the day of the date, he texted me, and he had to cancel because he said he was sick.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I felt bad. I mean, I'm a compassionate person. I'm nice. So I offered to come over to his place with a care package, and he agreed.
Oh.
Oh, well, that's really thoughtful of you, especially for someone you haven't even actually gone out on a date with yet.
Well, I did have a little bit of a double motive. I mean, I've been burned on a first date before, so I just wanted to make sure he was actually sick.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to see if he was actually telling the truth.
Well, what happened when you showed up?
I knocked on the door and he opened it, and he was actually sick. I mean, yeah, he looked terrible. I mean,
That's what you want to hear from somebody who's interested in you. Man, you look terrible.
You were lying.
yeah, he looked worse than terrible.
So he wasn't lying to you then?
It was bad. Definitely not lying. Probably actually kind of underplaying.
And how long did you hang out with him at his house while he was sick?
I offered to stay as long as he liked him. He seemed to really, appreciate the care package.
So what was in the care package? Lube?
What? No.
Dude.
For the throat?
No. I brought him some soup, some crackers, a little bit of candy,
Okay, good.
NyQuil.
Okay.
Pretty kosher stuff.
The normal get well stuff.
Not lube.
Maybe that's where you went wrong. Maybe he's one of those guys that likes a good lube to solve his cough.
All right, well, I will keep that in mind next time he's sick.
Nothing soothes a wet cough like some lube. So how did things end with him?
It actually ended a little bit uncomfortable.
Really?
Why?
Yeah, so we seemed to be having a good time. I offered to stay as long as he would like. I thought maybe he'd like the company. All of a sudden, he kind of abruptly went, well, I should rest.
Whoa.
And, really awkwardly just, put on my shoes and said bye. I mean,
Wow. Okay.
Wait, after you just brought him a get well package.
yeah.
So he just kind of killed it, huh? Just like you're talking, he's like, hey, I need to rest. Get out.
It wasn't that rude, but he did motion towards the door like, you need to leave.
What?
Wow.
Okay.
Jeez. Did you feel like he was angry or he was just uncomfortable because he was sick?
It's kind of hard to tell. I mean, he was sick, so I'm just hoping he was in a bad mood.
Yeah.
And have you talked to him since then?
No, he hasn't texted. He hasn't called. I mean,
Not even like a thank you for the care package?
nothing.
Wow. Okay.
So he's either blowing me off or his sickness got worse and now he's dead.
Oh, my
Well,
God.
at least you could take some solace in that. Like maybe it was a really bad cold and that's the reason he's not calling you back, not because you did something wrong.
Yeah, maybe.
No.
I mean, I'm just as confused as you are. I mean, he asked me out.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I showed up to his house with a care package, and now I haven't heard from him.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Hello?
Hi, can I speak to Mike, please?
This is Mike.
Oh, good. You're feeling better. I've been so worried about you, Mike, and this cold you had.
Who is this?
Oh, this is Jubal from Brooke and Jubal in the morning. How you doing?
I'm okay. What's Brooke and Jubal in the morning?
It's a good question. I don't really know. But
You should.
according to most people, it's a radio show.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're calling you today because we got an email about you from one of our listeners.
Sorry, what are you talking about?
Well, we do a segment on our show. It's called the Second Date Update. It's where if you go out on a date with somebody and then end up not calling them after, they email us to see if we can get you on the phone and find out what happened. Technically, you didn't really go on a date with this person, but they're still wondering why you aren't calling them back.
Okay, that sounds pretty messed up, but
Her name is Andrea.
okay.
Okay?
So you,
You remember Andrea. She brought you a care package when you were sick, I guess.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
what do you mean? I guess you could say that. Wasn't it filled with things to make you feel better when you're sick?
Yeah, it was, technically. I don't know, if somebody says, I want to make you a care package, you kind of expect a bit of care in that package, and she came over, and it was literally a paper grocery bag with canned soup in it, and
What?
like saltine crackers, and like candy, but not even real brand name candy, like...
What? Are you? Wait, hold on.
You're ripping on her care package.
No, I'm just saying that, it's clear that she said, I want to bring you a care package, and then stopped at the store and literally grabbed the first thing she saw. And
Dude, that's what a care package is. She stopped by the store and got you things you needed.
yeah, but if you're going to go out of your way to do a thing for a person, I'm just saying, either put some thought in it or wait till our first date. I don't even know this girl. And this is the first impression or the second impression that I'm getting is like, here's some stuff that I have in my house.
Okay, wait, no.
Wow, so is that why you're not calling her back, because of the little effort she put into a care package for you?
Well, no, it's not just that. That was disappointing, to say the least. But then the thing is, like, the energy was so weird. So I'm sick, right?
Yeah.
And she comes over and, instead of kind of like hanging out and maybe getting to know me, like the first question she's asking really specific questions about how sick I am, and she asked me if I get sick often, and
What?
and like what my symptoms were, and like it felt I felt like I was on trial a bit, like
Or that you're at the doctor.
Yeah.
or that I was at the doctor, but neither of us are doctors, so I didn't know what her angle was, like.
What's your
How
angle?
paranoid are you? Like, what are you testing me? You want to see if my genetics are good? I don't get sick that often, twice a year. Thank you very much.
That's kind of what it felt like.
But it could have been that she was nervous and it's the first time you guys have hung out without alcohol and she didn't know what else to talk about.
Well, it just seemed to me that she didn't totally believe that I was sick. Like, I had to answer all these questions about how I was sick and how sick I really was. And I felt like they kept going on. If it was one or two questions, that would be one thing. But at a certain point, I was like, do you want a doctor's note?
Leave me alone.
You should have supplied her with one.
I guess so.
So it was her careless package, not a care package, and her constant grilling you about being sick that made you not want to call her again.
Well, I got a kind of possessive sense about her, and I'm not into that.
I don't get that sense about her at all, and she's actually on the other line listening and wants to talk to you, so we could ask her if she's possessive like that.
Wait, she's been listening to this whole thing?
Yeah. Andrea?
Hi. How are you doing?
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't know you were listening at all.
Yeah, I did hear everything, Mike, and it's really interesting to hear your take on how things happened.
Well, you should know that's how I felt at the time, and I was called by a radio show, which apparently you sent an email to, which doesn't help my general feeling about the whole thing.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just really confused because it seemed like, I thought I had, reached out and did a really nice thing for you, but apparently it didn't quite come off as kindly as it was intended.
Well, your intentions weren't very clear to me, and if you do this in the future, maybe put a little more thought into that so it won't seem like you just showed up with a bag in order to get into the door and find out some information. 'Cause that's what it felt like.
Oh, wow.
I mean, when you've been lied to once, sometimes you just want to see how many liars are out there.
Okay, so you were testing me, so I was right.
I just wanted to
crazy.
see if you were all right and make sure, there wasn't any red flags, immediately up front. I mean, if you lied to me and we haven't even got on our first date.
Yeah, we haven't gone on our first date, so probably best not to take the time when I'm sick to grill me and find out whether I've killed anybody.
But Mike, I mean, you've got to listen to her explanation right now because it does kind of make sense.
It
Yeah.
makes sense to a paranoid person.
She's been burned a bunch, Mike. Give her like a little bit of a break. I mean, you're the jerk that's complaining about the quality of care packages over here.
She brought me canned soup. I could go get canned soup from the store. That's not care.
I didn't know if you were lying. I mean, if you're a liar, you only get canned soup. I'm not going to pull out, my mom's homemade recipe. That takes 4 hours to make
I kind of get it.
for a little liar.
I just didn't get a good first impression. So if I got to stick around for the good soup, I don't know if that's worth it to me.
Well, let's see if it's worth it. Mike, would you like to go out on a second date with Andrea? We will pay for it. We'll buy the ingredients for the soup that she can make.
I can confidently say no.
Really?
Yeah, this is already way too nuts for me.
Okay.
Okay. Well, knowing that, then I suppose would also like to not go out because apparently...
No, Andrew, you can't do that. You can't go back and say no. I'm saying no.
Yeah.
Yes, I can. I am saying no right now.
Wow. Okay, Mike, you hear
Okay.
that? You could have had a date, but now you don't get one because Andrea decided no.
That's fine. That's just fine with me.
Oh, man.
Did you hear me, Mike? I said no.
Yes, I heard you.
Okay. She's clear.
Sorry we couldn't get you guys to go out again, but at least you
close.
both agree that Andrea said no.